next vlog, and frankly this will be my least planned out one. This one's gonna mostly just be for the sake of me doing one every day, just to kinda keep it in habit. I am really tired today. Nearly completely forgot about recording this, so yeah. I was thinking of doing a part 2 on my whole is sin divine. Yeah, I'll try keep concluding my thoughts on that topic. I don't completely remember what I said. So I decided to talk to my pastor of a dad, and see his thoughts, and his thoughts were quite simply, sin was never a part of the grand design. But yeah, he also said that it was inevitably going to happen. Eventually, somebody, if it wasn't Adam and Eve that took the fruit, eventually somebody would. That was his say on it. It feels kind of backwards because I guess my whole thought with that is that God knew that it was going to happen. It was going to happen without question, so why do we say that it's not part of the grand design when it was an inevitable fact of how humans were going to end up? Sin would not exist if God had not known it. Nothing can exist without God's knowledge, by the understanding of a Christian nature. So the idea of saying that sin was not part of the grand design in the first place was simply something that was done that God had never intended to happen just kind of goes against Christian logic itself. Yeah. Again, the way I see it, a bit of a jumble here, but yeah, as I said, I see sin as an act of hate and self, whereas God does not want to tolerate that, so he encourages us to do acts of kindness and love. Yeah. So that's what's going on with that, and yeah, sin sometimes is necessary, sadly. Sometimes we know it from Bible stories, we know it from just probably our own life. Sometimes you need to be cruel to be kind. Sometimes you need to be sinful to be sacred. I know it doesn't sound right, but it flows nice, I guess. But yeah. it's not what we should want, but it's just the way the world works, that sometimes we have to do something that's considered evil to actually be a good person. Sometimes it's just, I don't know. No good deed goes unpunished. Sometimes you've got to do something that will hurt other people to help them. Though sometimes that may just be your own imagination. I don't know. Yeah. God's all about love, and that's what we humans should all be all about too. We can easily fall to our own anger, our own hatred, our own frustration, but in the end, you need to just keep love in mind, and you can be angry and you can yell at somebody in anger and still love them. Parents do it all the time to their kids when they're being a twit, as my mom would say. Or I'm not sure which one of them to say that, but yeah. I don't know. Normally I like to have something at least kind of planned out, an idea of what I want to talk about here, but it's what happens when you just don't know what you're talking about, know what you're doing. So yeah, about my day, about the same as normal. Nothing new's happening. Struggling to put in the effort to do work. Well, not do work, just hunt down jobs. Organizing my new place that I'm living in with my parents until I find a place to myself and a job to fund it. Yeah. Ugh. It's so hard when you want to live on your own, but you don't have any of the resources required for it. I don't know why I'm tired today. I'm not sure that was even legible, but sure. I don't know. Tempted part 2 on all this. Yeah, it's a weird topic because in the end we kind of don't want to believe that God allows bad things to happen. We don't want to believe that God is responsible for the pain in the world. But if we want to believe he's as powerful as he is and as loving as he is, then we also have to believe that he is letting this happen. He is the reason. He is, to a degree, the cause of all this. And it's one of those hard things to accept, but we kind of just have to. We need to accept it, and yeah, God is a parent. God is our Father. He lets us make our mistakes, but He lets us do things in love. He gives us rules and restrictions, but those in themselves are what grant us our true freedom. Because you think somebody who ignores a criminal who doesn't care for the law has freedom? No. They're far more restricted because they have to dance around, avoid like dozens of they gotta avoid the law, cops, people with, they gotta avoid people who might know them and turn them in. They may not follow rules, but they are very restricted. They are far more restricted in their movements because they don't really have to. They've placed themselves in a situation where they could easily just fall and end up in prison. Well, I'm gonna say that this is probably gonna end off this mess of a vlog. Have a good day, evening, night, space, time, yada yada. Like, comment, subscribe. Do something weird and get some good sleep. Goodbye.